I chose Chris because I think he does a great job. He has a really positive energy about him. He shines, and I see him in the halls and I see him talking to students, and he is confronting them, but he's doing it in a respectful, polite way.
I tutor students for an hour with him once a day in the social studies room.
I know Mr. Ford mainly because I'm a part-time PSEO student, so I work in the SSRC during my PSEO hours since I have asynchronous classes.
So I actually work directly with Mr. Ford on a daily basis. He helps a lot of my students, actually. He knows a lot of my students, so we always make that connection if I ever have to send a student to our resource center to work on additional work.
Wow, Chris Ford. He, like I just said yesterday, is like a hidden gem that we found for our department, and he is probably one of the best additions, hands down, that we could have in our resource center, in our school.
If you go to Blaine High School, how do you not know Mr. Ford? He's everywhere. You want to get to and from lunch, he's going to be the guy hassling you.
I was his teacher's assistant for the Social Studies Resource Center during second try of first hour, I believe.
I think Mr. Ford has been really heartwarming. When I see him in the hallway a lot, he always has a smile at
him. Like, I'm able to actually feel like I'm talking to an adult who I know is going to offer me really good feedback.
So I actually have the mornings in there. Typically I've had first and second period, and I really enjoy starting my day in there. Mr. Ford always, when he comes in, he says hi to everyone's in there, and he's very positive.
If you haven't met Mr. Ford, he is really heartfelt, he's kind, and he's sweet, and he's really understanding.
Yeah, I would describe him as very personable is I think the word that I'd use for that. Like, I've talked to multiple teachers about Mr. Ford and stuff, and they all love him. I know Miss Munch herself has described him as somebody who's personable as well.
One of the kindest, smartest, wisest people I think that I've ever met.
I would say that he is a charismatic, positive educator.
He is somebody that you will meet and you feel like you've known your entire life.
Friendly, fun, and fresh.
I really appreciate people like Chris that are positive, that are friendly, that are passionate. He is passionate about what he does. He lets you be seen and felt like he sees you. I know you're here. I appreciate you as a person. And I think that the way that he does that through his humor and through the way he dresses, he exuberates energy and positivity.
I think what really stood out about Mr. Ford was his resiliency in the hallways a lot, just from the fact that a lot of days he had to deal with things that other teachers, most teachers have to deal with, but him personally, I see him always with kids and having to show them the right way and what to do.
I would say Mr. Ford is one resilient guy. He's got some curveballs in his job. Don't envy the job. No offense, Ford. And I respect him for that. And I think everyone sees it.
Yeah, I think if you actually get to know Mr. Ford and you hear some of his life story, you will definitely see that resiliency. As I've gotten to know him over the past, a couple years, he has an incredible life story. And he's shared his life story actually with some of my students and myself. And he just embodies resiliency. He's been through a lot. And I think having that character is just amazing.
He's an amazing person and he'll teach you a lot.
I am so glad I met Mr. Ford this year. He's just made so much fun out of tutoring other kids.
I just want to thank Chris personally for what you do, the impacts that you make, the relationships that you do, and I just think that that is so important, and I think you're a rock star, and I hope that you continue to shine and be a role model and example setter here at Blaine High School. Thank you.
One of the coolest cats, snappiest dressers, but I'd like to say you make a difference in every one of these kids that you come in contact with, and we are just so lucky to have you.
Like this year, I've been going through such a really rough time in my life, like truly some of the lowest points I think I've ever hit. And knowing that I could like go to a staff member like you for help and just for like advice and support and all these amazing things that you're able to provide, just really, really is like comforting to me.
Mr. Ford, thank you for putting up with me in the SSRC. I've enjoyed every day I've been in there, and the reason I keep coming to school first hour, even though I don't have college classes anymore, is to be in there with you.